We have our own Downton Abbey right here in Des Moines. It's the Salisbury House. And Eric, can we get a tour?
You can. Welcome. Come
Thank
get
you.
warm.
Wow, Eric, being here at the Salisbury House, it's just such an amazing, breathtaking experience here.
It is. It is. I get to do it every day, so it's like this is perfect. So,
can you tell me a little bit about the history?
I can actually. Salisbury House is a 42-room estate that was built in the 1920s by a gentleman named Carl Weeks and his wife Edith. And Carl was an Iowa-bred pharmacist and chemist who invented what we now call foundation. It was a combination of powder and cold cream. Yep, exactly. So the foundation of Salisbury House is indeed foundation that he actually produced with his company called the Armand Company.
Well, what room are we in here?
This is the Great Hall. So this actually would have been, when you walked into this room, the door that we came in was the Weeks front door at the time that they lived in the house. And you would have walked into the Great Hall, which is kind of the central. It's based on a traditional Old English Great Hall. The ceiling beams in this room are actually 16th century beams that were brought over from New Sarum, England, which is what we now call Salisbury. And the house itself is named after a home called King's House in Salisbury.
Now we're heading over to the common room.
The common room, correct.
All right, should we go?
We should.
So this is the common room.
This is the common room. So this is the room that Carl and Edith actually would have entertained in. So this was, there were banquets, there was music, this was kind of the party room, if you will, the public party room. The room itself is extraordinary. All of the wood paneling that you see in here is actually ancient English wood paneling that was brought over from homes that had been demolished in England.
What is your favorite piece of art, do you think, here?
I would say my favorite piece, and probably one of the more significant pieces in our collection, is a piece back here. This is Anthony van Dyck, who was a Flemish painter in the English court, and this is Cardinal Rivarola. And where the cardinal hangs, he actually looks out into the Great Hall, and he has such a baleful stare. So I always like, when you walk in the room, it's like, yes, you're having a party in here, but Cardinal is watching.
Well, I'm so excited to see the next room, the library. I think this one might be my favorite.
This is my personal favorite too, so I look forward to it.
Let's go.
All right.
Another amazing room. I'm sure Carl spent a lot of time in here.
This was a well-beloved room for Carl and Edith and the children. There was a kitchen and the dining room down the hall. They had sleigh bells that would summon them when dinner time came, but this was the place where they curled up with the books.
Well, Eric, tell us about the collections in here.
This is, and I don't exaggerate, I think one of the greatest underappreciated humanities resources in the upper Midwest, if not the United States, and I say that without a shred of hyperbole. Carl and Edith were collectors of rare books. They had refined and exquisite taste. We have a lot of antiquities, and then we have a lot of also early 20th century works, including some original hand-edited manuscripts by James Joyce, D.H. Lawrence, and others. So the breadth of what's in here is really profound.
Eric, we're now back in the Great Hall, and this is what I have a question about.
Okay.
Why is there a curtain covering this painting?
Well, this is actually one of the more important pieces of art in our collection. And Carl and Edith, when they actually had this work brought here in the 1920s, it's a 1925 painting, decided that it might be a little bit incongruous with the more classical art displayed in this room. So they actually did hang it with this curtain in front of it, and that's how they displayed it. So when they would bring people in, they could kind of do the big reveal. Now, if you come for our tours, you get the opportunity to get the big reveal and see it the way that Carl and Edith intended people to see this painting.
So if people want to take a tour, what's the best way to get the information?
Website's the best place to go. So salisburyhouse.org. We've got all the information about the different kind of tours we have, guided tours, self-guided tours, nooks and crannies tour.
Well, I'm on a tour with you, so I think
Very
I need
good.
to get a sneak peek.
Oh,
I can't wait.
All right.
Oh my word. You need to come and see this. It's absolutely amazing.